Hey, welcome. My name is Martin. Here is Game Dev Garage. I'm making game development tutorials in this channel and sharing devlogs about my projects and live streaming when I'm working on my game development projects and for sharing some experiences about what I have learned in the last 5 years. So I'm making games more than 5 years and I'm working on 2 projects right now. So check links in the description to see what kind of projects I'm working on. So before I started today's subject, let me show you my projects. So check links in the description. Here is SpaceKraft. Steam page is now live. You can play demo here and you can add it to your wishlist if you like this game. So that would be super huge support for this channel and me to make more projects and more tutorials about game development. So please consider subscribing channel and please consider adding these games to your wish list. So this is SpaceKraft. I started this project about 2017, 5 years ago. So I stopped in some points because of some reasons, and I refocused on this project, and I'll probably complete in a few months, so don't miss out. Add it to your wish list. So this game has really unique space features. Normally you expect to use some lasers or some explosives to hit someone or fight against aliens, but it's not. It's completely different kind of space game. Probably you will love it, so check it out. And the other one is Hellcome. This is a roguelite zombie survival shooter, bullet hell something kind of game. So in this game we have 5 different characters to choose to play, and you can play with four of your friends multiplayer as multiplayer. So zombies are running to you and you are just trying to survive between them. So after you killed zombies, you get some experience points, and you get a select skill screen, and you can upgrade some of your skills and you can build your character as you wish. So check it out. I'm sure you will like it, and you can download demo here in Steam page and add it to your wish list. Okay, thank you. So let's get started. Today's topic, it was, let me read it, how to structure your game project in Unity. Actually, what I'm gonna talk about today is a generic concept. It's not just related to Unity or Unreal or any other game engine. Actually, you can apply same rules in Cocos or Unity or which game engine you are working. No problem. So actually you can find many tutorials about how to make small parts of a game mechanic, or how to make a character run, or how to make a character jump, or something like that. But the most important thing is designing a base structure for your game project. So you need to manage everything to work together perfectly and prevent any stupid bugs that will that will ruin your days and nights. So I want to share with you the framework I'm working on in the last 4 or 5 months, which I will use in my future and current game projects. And I made this framework quite extendable and try to make it extendable and reusable, I should say. So let's take a look. So here in Unity, in this video I'm going to talk about Unity. Probably in the next one I want to describe similar things on Cocos Creator. So in Cocos Creator you don't have a multi-scene system, so you only have one scene. as I remember, so I need to check new versions of Cocos Creator. Then we'll describe the same concept about infrastructure. Okay, so normally I have a main game control. Okay, so here this is a game object and it is named main game control, and it has a script named main game control. So let's check out what this script means. Let me move code screen here. Okay. So here we have main game control. This is just a regular mono behavior, and there are a few very small functions, not a big deal. And the important thing is main game control has links to other controllers in the scene, and more importantly, it makes them global to be able to access from any part of your project. Okay, you'll understand what I'm talking about in a few minutes. So here I have other controllers: UI controller, input control, audio control section, game, scene, SaveLoad, X reference, game elements, camera control, settings, and analytics. These are controllers I'm using in the game. So here I define them and link them here. Actually, they're inside the main game control group. Okay, so I link them here. And I defined a static class named GDG, which means Game Dev Garage. So it has same controllers as fields, and they are static. So you can call one of these from anywhere in your code. Okay. So here, let's check the next one. We have UI control class here, controller. So here I have screen fader to make cutscenes or just fade out screen when loading and in another scene, or maybe cutting to another cutscene. So I have some screens here. They are just hidden, but you can see here: home screen, game screen, level completed, level failed screens, and message pop-up and settings pop-up kind of screens. Okay, so these are responsible for showing some screens and handling those stuff in the screen. But these are just view side of that functionality. Okay, so I don't have any kind of mechanical or anything related to game is not defined here. These are just screens that show up. So maybe I can show you that way. So let's hide this and hide this. Okay, so this is home screen. Okay, actually there's nothing here, just a play button. If I hit play button, it sends a callback to the caller of home screen. Okay, normally I mostly used observer and listener kind of structure in the game system. So here are the other screens, for example, level completed, level failed, and some kind of message pop-up and settings pop-up. These are super simple designs, nothing close to final production. So just keep it in your mind. So here I have an input control. Input controller will get inputs from devices like keyboard, mouse, or gamepad, and delivers the input data if someone is registered to that. Let me go in a little bit deeper. So here, actually, input actions you can see: on move, on run press, on run release, on look gamepad, or on look mouse or jump press, you can see these are the inputs coming from the input system. Okay, so these are inputs coming from device. Yeah, until here. Yes, this part. So that means we have an input system, and I don't know, maybe if you know the new input system in Unity, so you can find dozens of tutorials about that. So I'm using it. It just calls these methods in input control. That's all. So if I move with WASD or just using the gamepad stick, it doesn't matter. It just sends a signal to input control. So I'm not handling everything in player control or character control. Okay, just I have an input control for just input system. So here we have inputs here. So you can see there are some actions defined here. Okay, these are actions to be able to register input channel in input control. Okay, for example, on move listener should listen the move event only. Okay, so input system, input control doesn't know anything about the listeners. Okay, it just knows someone wants the input data when something happens in that channel. Okay, so this is the most important thing when you are designing a system for your game infrastructure. You need to decouple things as much as possible. I know it's not perfectly possible, or maybe may not be possible for 100%, but you should try. So here I just have listeners and some others just registering these events. Maybe we can just check, for example, who is listening the on move event. Okay, I'm just hitting the F6 and you can see player control is listening. Let's jump there. Actually, I'm gonna talk about player control later, but I just want to show this detail to you. So here, this is player control. Just forget about all the confusing thing here. Just I want to show you the move listener feature. So on awake, player controller registers input controls move listener. Okay, you can see the usage of gdg.inputControl. etc. That means, as you remember, GDG makes these controls accessible from anywhere in the project, because this is a static class. Actually, many people are using I don't remember. I think it's singleton. Yeah, most people may use singleton system, but I find this method is easier to use and simpler to use, because I don't want to just add everywhere get instance after an singleton, so it makes my code much easier to read. Hey Jar, welcome bro. So we just register event here and unregister here if someone destroys the player. Okay, not happening in this game, but I just make sure if you register something, you need to unregister later. So here, let's check what happens in onMove function. OnMove function will call character control.move function and send the vector, move vector. Okay, so we'll go in depth in this part later. So I just wanted to show you how listener logic is working. Okay, these are so advanced for me. I will have some quite interesting surprises for you, Jar. So I'm designing an AI feature in this framework, which you can define really detailed NPC behaviors maybe enemy, maybe companion kind of NPCs. So it will be very interesting for you, I guess. So not in this video, but yes, this is just something very detailed about how you structure your game system in code side. Okay. So let's keep going. So here I was talking about input control. Okay. So the next one is audio control. If you want to play an audio, so it will be come here. The command should be come here and handled here. So maybe we can use different kind of audio systems in the game, but I want to manage everything in one place. So I put audio control here, and we can call some functions to play some audio files or some audio sources in the game, and it can add them to some layers, and you can enable and disable some layers. So that looks confusing, but it's not important right now. It's just showing the logic behind the system. I want to show that. So I have a section control. Actually, this is a little bit weird. Yeah, the AI stuff is super cool. I'm also very impressed about that after I build it. Okay, so I'll just keep going. So I have section logic here. Actually, after I worked on hyper casual games, and in hyper casual games we had some start screen, some advertisement screen or reward screen, end game screen, level complete screen, level failed screen, revive screen. We have a dozen of screens in hyper casual. Actually, we may have several sections, several screens that splits the gameplay, stops the gameplay, and restart some part of gameplay. Okay, so I'll just put section control logic to derive maybe start a game or pause game, or maybe exit game, or maybe if you die it should be a revive screen. So all the sections deriving the screens here. Okay, as we saw before, we had some screens here, so these sections shows those screens and waits callback from those screens. Okay, so here I have a loader section. In the beginning, loader section starts and handles necessary things if you have, and then home screen comes, home section comes in the point. So home section means the screen and the logic before you started the game. Okay, for example, if you just open the game and you have a menu, if you have a character choice options or some other stuff should be going there, this game section handles this logic, and actually it's like a base for that kind of logic. Okay, not handles everything in there, but it just makes a base for that kind of logic. So game section means the gameplay itself. If we are in game section, if we started game section, we should be playing the game in that section. And the next one is player fail section. Actually, we could add or remove some more sections here, but this is just a demonstration. Okay, so let me show you how these sections are triggered or started or ended. So in main game control, let me show you, we have section control dot start entry section. Okay, here we start the loader section. Okay, so let's go to loader section here. Most of them are just commented because some of them was using in hyper casual games. I will not need that kind of features here, but I can add them later, so I just commented. So here, if we start the section, it will just show a loading section, and we can add some logic here, and then it ends the section after loading and handling things completed. And it goes to game control and asks for loading game data from disk. Okay, so if we just save and exit game, it should be loading from the disk, the data from the disk. Then it starts the home section later on. Okay, so the logic goes here. Actually, maybe it shouldn't be in the end section function, but doesn't matter. So just it starts, calls end section, and calls these methods. So as you can see, before game started, someone is calling game control to load game data from disk. So this is preparation logic, I can say. So after that, we go to home section. Okay, let's go to home section. Here it first disables input and shows screen, fades in the screen, and shows home screen. This is, we are in the section. Home section calls home screen to show. Okay, and as we send a parameter, a function, it will be called back when home screen player in home screen hit the start game button, or some kind of something like that. Okay, so it will just start game sequence here. So you can see I separated loading section in different part, and the home section, which will handle the starting game or adjusting things, will be handled here. So here, after we just we just hide the screen here, and we call game section dot start. Okay, so next one is game section. It will just handle another logic here. So it will go just disable input again. Maybe if we are coming from another section, we may not coming from home section. Okay, so it'll just disable input, load game state, which means we loaded data from disk, and now we are loading actual data to scene, and it calls start game. Okay, so we have two callbacks here. If level is ready, we call this. If player failed, that call this, and goes to start section again. So here, if level loaded and everything is ready, so it will just set game camera, and it will just show game screen, UI and other stuff we need, and calls play level. So as you can see, I separated some features to different sections because we may want to wait someone to come to join our game before we played level. Okay, for example, if we had a multiplayer feature and we need to wait someone to join the game, we may just load level and put player someplace and just wait for someone to come, or maybe we can wait to player to hit a button to start the game. Okay, so this is the idea. So after we started the game, if something happens, if we fail, it will call the fail section, player failed section, and the logic goes that way. Okay, so I think it was a little bit too deep for now, but I just wanted to describe how it works. So I have game control here, game control script that will initialize the player character. Actually, I will change this in near future. I will put player character into level scene, not in the main scene, but for now it's just a link to player character here. So let's check what game control does. Game control responsible for loading game data and saving game data and initializing the player. Okay, we can check here. Yeah, you can see load data from disk, and we of course have loading main scene logic, load data for main scene. So we have autosave, save, load game, load last save kind of functions here. Okay, so we have start game function which will initialize player and loads player related scenes. If we fail, it will be calling the fail callback and some handlings for analytics or something if you need more. So it will just play level, and we have other kind of listener stuff here. So here maybe we can check these guys. Level play listener, level stop listener, level complete, and level fail listeners. So I have some actions defined here. If someone registers to these kind of events, okay. So I'm going in event driven system most likely, or if I could, as much as possible, because as you can see, game control doesn't know anything about the registering parts of these. I mean that if someone registers to level play listener as level player listeners, so game control doesn't know who is or doesn't care anything about it. If it just calls the listener when game played, level played. Okay, so that helps to separate responsibilities and decoupling the classes, decoupling the parts of game. Okay, so that's it. I have scene control here. Scene control loads and scene control knows the edges of scenes and knows how to load them or unload them based on player's position. So you can see we have a lot of controllers, just a simple game that we can just run between scenes and just stop playing or failing or just restarting a game. You can see it's a lot of controllers here. So this is important, guys. If you just start and write everything in player control or write everything into a just one mono behavior, you will end up having really hard times on debugging the features, and it'll be really hard to track what's going on in your system. So here I have scene control, which will load or unload scenes and handle all the necessary things when loading and unloading happens. For example, I'll just show you here. We have level 2, which is actually, these are not levels, these are just different sections of game, sectors of game I can call. So I just named as level. So if we move our character from, let's say, from here to here, okay, and we unload this scene, our character will also removed. Okay, so this is important to handle. Okay, if we moved a character here, so this character should be moving in the related scene. If we unload scene 1, so our character will be still remain in our game. Vice versa, if we move back to to original scene here. This character should be moved the level 1 again. And if we unload here, character will remain there. Okay. Everything is valid for the same thing is valid for other movable objects. For example, if we let me show you this in action. Okay. Whoa, we just passed 30 minutes. Okay, I should speed up a little bit. So as you can see, we can just grab this box and go to the next scene. You can see it's loaded automatically, and this scene unloaded automatically, and the box still in my hands. Okay, let me drop box here, drop these box. Okay, let's come back to the other scene. So you cannot see, but box is unloaded because moved to the other scene. Okay, so let's go there. Let's check. Yes, the box is here. So scene control handles all kind of states for this. For example, if I put box here, so it's it's colliding both scenes, so if I move here or move here, if this scene or this scene unloaded, it'll become a weird situation because let me show you. This box is on scene 2, okay, the scene on the right side of the screen. So here, if I move left side, this should be unloaded. Okay, oh yeah, let's go there. It just unloaded. So I come here back. So what do you think if these green ground unloaded? What happens? Just guess. Normally it should drop, right? Because check this out. Its center of gravity is on the left actually. But let's click that and see. This is turned to a kinematic object. Why? Because our scene control handled it. Okay, it just calculated that this object is colliding both scenes and handles that kind of edge cases. So this is why game development takes really long time, and you have to deal all of these problems. Okay, so let's move a little bit further and faster. Yeah. So this is scene control we were talking about. SaveLoad control is handling saving and loading data. For example, if we move this object, which is a dynamic and movable object, it will be saved as position, rotation, and other kind of features should be saved. Okay, so here I have a savable feature added to classes when needed and provides save data when we want to save that object in the scene. So SaveLoad control gets that data and matches that data with the ID of that object and stores it in the disk. Okay, so let me show you quickly. So you can see savable abstract class. Actually, yeah, this is abstract class. All right. So it has some features for saving and loading. So let me show you. This is get save data and set save data functions should be defined all children classes. And here we have freeze and unfreeze functions, which will be used in that kind of edge cases, you know. So if we need to freeze this object when we unloading or loading that scenes, these objects collided. So these functions will be called by save and load control. Okay. Yeah, so this is saving and loading. So another thing is cross-reference control. This is a feature that I added recently in this system. So that helps me to link cross-scene objects together. Okay, so for example, if we have, let's see, we have NPC here. So in this NPC, I have a behavior tree feature, which will handle all the AI logic. If I wanted to link an object from another scene, level 2, for example, let me show you. Let's add here get transform position node, and just want to use that link feature. So for example, we can just link collectible object in scene 2, okay, which is this one. Okay, so this NPC is in scene 1, level 1, and the object in level 2. Okay, so if I drag and drop it here, it will link that object physically, but it adds its unique identifier to here. Okay, so if we lose the link when we save the scene or loaded the scene, it will just use the ID to find that object when we call this node in the AI. I can use it in anywhere in the scene in this project. This is just an example usage in my behavior tree, but I can use cross-reference feature in another mono behavior, any kind of component. Okay, so let's see what happens when I save. Yeah, Unity says you have cross-reference links, so it will not be saved. Okay, so if I unload level 2, you can see this is a missing transform, but we have ID here. If you load it, it will be restored. Okay, cross-reference control works that way. 100% handcrafted. Okay, handmade system. So the next one, I will just wrap up things in a few minutes because it's really long for this kind of video. So here we have camera control, which has the main camera and other kind of stuff that handles camera movements or following the player, or if we want to make some different camera angles based on situation, camera control will be responsible for that kind of effects. I have settings, but I didn't use it. Okay, I put it here in case I need, but in this project I still not using it. So I have analytics control here, but it's not used yet. Normally we were using game analytics or some kind of analytics tools for hyper casual games, but in this project I don't have any analytic tool yet. Maybe later. So this guy will be handling the all analytic stuff, and that's all. We all covered. We covered all the controllers that I'm using in this game. So here, let me demonstrate a little bit on gameplay. In the next video, we can go a little bit deeper for a character controlling, because I'm sure you will like this. For example, I can carry an object I can throw it. I can take objects from ground. Actually, let me maximize it so you can see easier. So let's grab an item from here, grab another item. So we have inventory. We can grab items from inventory, we can drop them, and we can use weapons. And if we hit this guy, our companion will go there and try to fight. But I think it's gonna take a little bit time. So I'll just ignore them. So we can use different kind of weapons. Hey, what are you doing here? Hey. So, okay, let's show another feature that we can move objects and we can explore some other contents. He's so angry on me. So we can interact with some objects which will trigger some other objects, some other functions. So we can use items. These are not actually affecting. For example, if we wear some cloth, it will change our view, our look. So those features are under construction right now. So yeah, we can run, we can crouch, we can jump. You can see. Actually, this is a rigid body character controller I made because I want this game to compatible with physics. So I don't want to handle all the physical situations by myself. So yes, I think that's all for this video. If you have questions, I can answer, or if you have any questions and if you are watching from video, please write in comments so I can answer your questions, or I can make different kind of videos, or maybe we can go some details about some features of this framework. So guys, let me shout out about my projects I'm working on. So check links in the description to see SpaceKraft Steam page. So this is really interesting kind of game, really unique space game, which we follow an adventure, adventure of a guy called Tom. He kidnapped to space somehow, with a portal kidnapped him, and he tries to return to Earth to his family, and we are living his adventure in this game. So we have a quite interesting kind of physical mechanics, physics-based mechanics, and hope you like it. And please download demo here, and if you like it, please add it to your wish list. Then the other one is Hellcome. We were working on this project for a few months with a very small team. So you can play this game as multiplayer, up to 4 players, and this is a kind of zombie survival game. So you kill zombies, a horde of zombies, and you collect particles and experience points. Until some point you have an option to upgrade your character. So you can build your own character in this game and try to survive as much as possible. So hope you like it. We have demo is available on Steam, so please add it to your wish list. Okay guys, thank you for joining me in this video. So I really like to make content about game development. If you subscribe this channel, so I will share more videos about these projects. I know actually live streams are not super compressed and a little bit taking long time, and it's not super enjoyable. I know that. I will release some short, compressed and much more enjoyable videos very soon. So hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notification when I release those videos. If you like this content, please like this video. So thank you very much. See you in the next episode. Bye bye.